believe that Jesus is likened to the whole nation of Israel.
That Jesus is likened to the nation of Israel? Yeah.
For example, in Matthew 2:15.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how many times does the word equivalent in Hebrew for Muslim appear in the Old Testament?
I wouldn't say
if you believe it.
I wouldn't say it's an equivalent of the word Muslim. I would say that it is related. There is a word that is related to the word because they share the same root. So you have the word in Isaiah 42 verse 19.
Yes, exactly. And if you can open it.
Yeah. So that word is not Muslim. It's not the equivalent. It has the same root.
If you can just open the Bible commentary in Bible Hub, the Christian commentators say.
Okay. Yeah. All right, ladies and gents. So over on the side, let me actually put the Bible over here on the side here. All right. So on the right, we got Isaiah 42:19.
If you can,
Elicon's commentary. This part right here, right? As he that is perfect. All right. Strictly speaking, the devoted or surrendered one. The Hebrew meshullam is interesting as connected with the modern Muslim and Islam. The man resigned to the will of God. The frequent use of this or a cognate form as a proper name after the exile. It gives us a few verses. May, on either assumption as to the date of Isaiah, be connected with it by some link of causation. Other meanings given to it have been perfect, as in the authorized version, confident, or recompensed, or meritorious.
Yes.
So what it is that there's a connection between the word meshullam and the word Muslim in the Arabic.
Yes, there is, because the root word of meshullam
they have the same root word.
The same root word, and salam is in Arabic, and the root for Muslim is also salam. You can
agree. We can agree because this is important. We can agree though, although there is a connection between the words, they're not the same word, right?
When a Muslim claims that the Hebrew word meshullam in Isaiah 42:19 is directly connected to the Arabic word Muslim, the argument might sound convincing at first, since both appear to share the idea of submission or peace. But this impression quickly falls apart under closer examination, linguistically, historically, and contextually. In Hebrew, meshullam comes from the root shlm, which means peace, wholeness, or completion. It's the same root from which we get the word shalom, meaning peace or well-being. In the context of Isaiah, meshullam is used to describe a people who were supposed to be reconciled to God or set apart for Him, yet are rebuked by God as blind and deaf. It's not a compliment. It's a sharp rebuke to Israel, who received divine revelation but failed to obey. So here meshullam is used ironically, not honorably. On the other hand, the Arabic word Muslim comes from a completely different root, sen, lam, mum. It's built from the verb aslama, which means to submit or to surrender. So a Muslim, by definition, is someone who submits, someone who surrenders to the will of Allah. While meshullam and Muslim may sound alike, they are not etymologically related. They are what linguists call false cognates, words that sound similar but have completely different roots and meanings. The resemblance is coincidental, not historical. More importantly, Ellicott's commentary never claims that Isaiah 42:19 is a prophecy about Muhammad or Islam. Ellicott simply notes that meshullam is an interesting term, mentioning its phonetic similarity to Muslim and Islam. But this is not a theological statement. He makes it clear that meshullam refers to Israel, God's servant, who is described in this passage as blind and deaf. So if anything, applying the term meshullam to Islam only undermines the Muslim argument, because the figure being described is under divine correction, not divine praise. In the end, connecting meshullam to Muslim is just clever wordplay. It sounds impressive, but only on the surface. It ignores context, it ignores meaning, and it ignores the actual roots of the words. It's not serious scholarship, it's just a stretch. And when pushed too far, it actually backfires, because the Muslim they claim to find in this passage is the very one God is rebuking for spiritual blindness.
Of course, because they're different languages, but they're basically
different languages with different meanings too.
You can go to the lexicon. It says the surrender one, the submitter.
Well, that's what the Muslim word means. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what Ellicott says, he literally says here, that as he that is perfect. So he shows that it means perfect. And he gives the interpretation, strictly speaking, the devoted or surrendered one. Right. So when we go to the lexicon,
you can go to the lexicon. Yes.
How do I do this?
You go to the right on the second.
Hold on, I need to. How do I just do this?
On the comments, you can I believe go to the right.
There we go.
Yes, on the 19. This isn't the lexicon. I believe this is the interlinear.
I know, brother. I'm getting there. Just give me a second. All right, here it is. So when we open the lexicon, we see the definition of the word: to be complete, to be sound, to make amends, to finish, to repay, or to reward. Right? That's the meaning of the word. It does not have the same meaning as Muslim.
Okay, can you please go down on the same lexicon to the Brown Griggs, I believe.
Yeah, this is a different lexicon.
You see, stop on the Arabic. You see the root word.
I know. A Muslim debater. Trust me, I've ran through this before. So
okay, now
the confusion that a lot of you guys bring is you guys think that because they have the same root that they mean the same thing. They don't. As we just saw, these are two different. Like this is the Hebrew. The Hebrew word means to be complete and sound, right? That's in the Hebrew, right?
Yes.
In the Arabic,
these aren't the only meanings.
Correct. These are their own meanings. So they have different meanings, even though they have the same root. When we go to the Arabic, we see it gives it in the Arabic right here. We see it, the word in its root.
Present or submit oneself, especially to God, when participle Muslim, and in Islam, proper submission to God. There you go.
Yeah. So do you? Yeah, I hear you, Muslim debater. Do you see that these are two different words with two different meanings in their respective languages? You don't?
No,
okay.
Because it says
stop there for me, Muslim debater. Slow down. Right here, it gives the Hebrew word and its meaning in the Hebrew, right?
Yes.
Is that the same meaning in the Arabic?
But these aren't the only meanings.
That's what I asked. Is this the same meaning in the Arabic?
Here, no, but these aren't the only meanings.
All right. So it's not the same meaning in the Arabic. We look at the meaning in the Hebrew. We look at the meaning in the Arabic. They mean two different things.
No, they don't.
All right. So show me where it has the same exact meaning.
You're literally, it says here, especially to God whence participle Muslim and infinitive Islam, properly submission to God.
Where does it say that for the Hebrew word?
It's literally in the definition of the Hebrew word.
Yeah, where do you see the definition of the Hebrew word? It means to submit oneself or to resign, like the word Muslim. Where does it say that?
Here on the screen.
No. Where does it say that for the Hebrew? Are you okay?
No, for the Hebrew it doesn't say here, but it's the equivalence in Arabic.
It doesn't use the equivalence. The only thing that you have here, Muslim debater, is you have two words with similar roots, with the same root. That's what you have. But these are two different words with two different meanings. They share the same root in two different languages, though. Can we agree with that?
The meanings are both the same. The meshullam is a Muslim in Arabic. If you can also...
All right, let's get back to our subject here. Gave the Muslim a chance. Gave the Mu'minun a chance, man. Thanks for coming, big dog. So I hope for the rest of you Muslims that are watching this, stop bringing up Isaiah 42:19. It doesn't work. And Christians, I hope that you're paying attention because the Muslims are trying to distort lexicons. They don't even know what they're looking at. They don't know what they're reading. They don't comprehend things, or they do and they just intentionally lie, okay? Stop bringing up Isaiah 42:19, saying that the Bible teaches that Jesus is a Muslim or that Israel is a Muslim. No, it doesn't. Just because two words have the same root doesn't mean they're the same word or have the same meaning, as we just saw and demonstrated. Same root in Arabic and Hebrew, two different words with two different meanings, but they're related. They're connected. Yes, not identical.
The reason so many Muslim apologists are eager to find the words Muslim or Islam in the Bible isn't just a debate tactic. It's deeply rooted in the structure of Islamic belief itself. From the very beginning, Islam never claimed to be a new religion standing on its own. Instead, it presents itself as a continuation, a restoration of the original faith brought by all previous prophets, from Adam and Noah to Abraham, Moses, and even Jesus. According to this narrative, Islam is not an innovation, but a return to the pure message that humanity lost along the way. That's why there's such a strong urge to rediscover Islam hidden within the pages of earlier scriptures. This is what drives Muslim apologists to search for Hebrew or Greek words that sound similar to Islamic terms, like the Hebrew word meshullam, and then attempt to link it to the Arabic word Muslim. But these efforts often rely on superficial sound resemblance, not solid linguistic, grammatical, or historical evidence. It may sound convincing at first, but it falls apart under real scrutiny. This tendency is also fueled by the Quran itself. In Surah Al-A'raf 7:157, the Quran claims that Jews and Christians will find Muhammad mentioned in their own scriptures, in the Torah and the Gospel. That's not just theology, that's a textual claim. So when no clear evidence for this appears in the Bible, some Muslims resort to reinterpretation, sometimes even stretching meanings or ignoring context altogether. Islam emerged in the 7th century, while the Bible was written centuries before. So in order to establish spiritual and historical legitimacy, Islam has to position itself as the final chapter of a divine story that started long before it. That's why there's a strong motivation to Islamize biblical figures or terminology, even when the linguistic or theological support simply isn't there. And ironically, these attempts can actually backfire. Because when someone claims that meshullam in Isaiah 42 is a reference to Muhammad, they may not realize that the term is used ironically to describe Israel as blind and deaf to God's revelation. So instead of praise, it's a rebuke. And applying that term to Muhammad only weakens the argument. In the end, this isn't about similar-sounding words. It's about one religion, born centuries later, trying to insert itself into the narrative of earlier scriptures. But when those scriptures are read honestly, the connection just isn't there.